And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It's time for us to go through the front pages of the newspaper. And I'm not doing this alone, of course. I've got Winfrey here.
Hi.
Right. So let's get right on it. So we'll start off with the Daily Times newspaper. Making the headlines here, we have Nigerian Army dismisses female soldier who accused senior officers of sexual harassment. On the bottom of the paper here, why Justice Binta Nyako withdrew from Nnamdi Kanu's trial. And right here at the bottom of the paper, inflation cripples Nigeria's construction sector as developers struggle to keep projects afloat. And right here at the top of the paper, Edo Poll, 5 returning police officers dead, 11 others injured in auto crash. That's a sad story there. Just right on the right is there. NDLEA nabs ex-convicts with 4.6 billion naira worth of cocaine at MMIA. That's the Muritala Mohammed Airport. And EFCC investigates officers over 15 million naira bribe allegation by cross-dresser Bobrisky. Fresh cholera outbreak kills over 41 in Jigawa. And finally, Tinubu throws out tenure elongation bill for National Assembly offices. That's all on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper. So I'll quickly touch on the Bobrisky story because that sort of caused quite...
it's interesting. It's actually on the news.
It's interesting, right? It's,
in the
right?
papers,
It's interesting. It's making the news. But, well, when he was arrested, that made the news as well. So there's been a back and forth. He was not the only person arrested. VeryDarkMan was also arrested based on a few allegations that VeryDarkMan dropped on the X platform yesterday, and which of course sort of held the EFCC. There were really strong allegations. So there are a few names that were mentioned: the EFCC, the DG controller of the prisons in Lagos and Abuja.
Yeah.
Femi Falana was also, and Files the bad guy as well. So we're hoping that after these investigations, we would find out more.
All right. Okay. I'll take the New Telegraph. And on the New Telegraph here, we have Edo Guber Poll. Secondus accuses APC of plotting one-party state. And the run there we have says, Nigeria's democracy sitting on keg of gunpowder. We are monitoring the situation closely. U.S. ambassador, we have that on page 3 and page 4. CBN to inject additional 4 trillion naira into banks. And on the strip there above the masthead, we have FG should increase stake in Dangote refinery to 45%. We have that on page 7. And below there, we have Nigerians groan, protest exorbitant U.S. visa processing fees, said charges, extortion, Dropbox processes cumbersome. We have that on page 3. Hardship. Tinubu must revisit his reforms urgently. Kalu, we have that on page 2. Obesity in moms doubles risk of autism in babies study. We have that on page 20. Now, I'm actually quite cross on which to actually talk about, the Edo Goba or the U.S. visa processing fee. For the U.S. visa processing fee, I'll just say you guys should just wait till when Trump mistakenly enters the office. If you are talking about complaining about it now, it's literally about to get worse.
Yeah, because he has quite strong immigration policies.
He has no immigration policies. That to build the fence.
That's why I used the word strong, because we just never know what could happen or what could change when he comes in. Maybe after he realizes, the essence or the importance of having, the immigration and how it also helps to increase, the
economy.
Workforce.
Of course, a lot of people believe that, the people that the immigrants actually have a very huge role in making America what it is today.
Exactly.
However, he believes that America is being taken over. And the truth is that the Dropbox process is literally just came in during Biden, because Trump literally shut all of that down. And I remember trying to get a U.S. visa date, like in 2019. And the next available date was 2023.
Even now, it's longer because they have so many. I remember during the COVID, when the COVID happened, there were loads and loads of, applications that were not catered to at all. And I think a year after, even they were not even attending to any of that till, I think a year after, COVID, had been, sorted. So, I mean, there's still a lot of people to attend to.
And now, even beyond just the U.S., a lot of other countries are literally tightening in
on their immigration
I'm telling you, their visa processes.
Especially UK.
I'm telling you, UK, US, Canada, even SA. So a lot of even normal, like even some African countries are literally putting, because they know like what's happening in Nigeria, and they're also really just worried because there's an influx of people. People are literally just, I mean, see Canada that literally used to like fling their doors open. Now they're every week, new policy, new policy.
True,
so,
very true.
I mean,
Very true. Okay.
You guys should stay and build your country. Stop looking for where to go.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's move on to the Daily Independent. Even though I know a lot of people that would not agree with you. But hey, making the headlines here, Nigerians grappling with realities of soaring living costs, says Akpabio. Wow, coming from him. Says challenges testing every fabric of our society. Tinubu asks Senate to confirm Kekere Ekun as CJN. And that's the Chief Justice of Nigeria. And right here on the corner of the paper here, Nigeria's unemployment rate increased to 5.3% in the first quarter of 2024. And federal government complains, Ombudsman says Daily Trust breached media professional standards. Okay, U.S. Chamber of Commerce commits to $320 million to mortgages SMEs in Nigeria. And tourist experts canvass reduction in visa fees, adoption of technology. And Army discharges female soldier who accused officer of sexual harassment. You can find more of that story on page 6 of the Daily Independent. We'll continue to increase rates as inflation rises, says Cardoso. CBN raises MPR to 27.25%, CRR to 50%. States need to curtail excess liquidity, meet forex demand pressures. And finally, on the paper here, just right at the bottom of the paper, power struggle main cause of conflicts in Nigeria, Africa, says Jonathan. And I'll just take one or two more stories here, just right at the top of the paper. Drama in court as Justice Nyako withdraws from trial of Nnamdi Kanu. And inadequate funding, manpower impeding our performance, says Army Chief. And that's all on the Daily Independent newspaper. And so at this juncture, I think that we're done for the papers. Would head over to the kitchen. Should we head? Yeah. And we'll just head over to the kitchen now. Okay, so let's take one more paper. We have the Punch. You want to take the Punch newspaper?
Okay. For the major headlines here, we have subsidy. Federal government may spend 236 billion naira monthly on imported Dangote petrol. We have marketers, others back Dangote on subsidy removal. Maiman lifts over 50 million liters of Dangote petrol. We have that on page 2. At the top left there, we have banditry. Zamfara governor reports defense minister to NSA. We have that on page 20. CBN banks sell $9 billion as naira weakens to 1,670 per dollar. We have that on page 4. Edo, APC dismisses poll fraud. Police recover stolen beavers, and we have that on page 2. And that's all we'll be taking on the newspaper for this hour.